It's been a while since I've bought any Thomas DVDs. Let's see how that's looking on eBay. What? Okay. I think I'm just gonna step outside.
Dear Juan, please do a review on Thomas and the Special Letter. It's one of my favorite releases and I'd love to see your thoughts on it. I'm a big fan of your videos and I can't wait to see this one. Sincerely, a special fan. I can do that.
Yep. We're reviewing this one. Let's get into it.
Season 4 of Thomas & Friends is often considered to be one of the best seasons of the series, with many people saying it's their favorite season. And while I definitely prefer Season 5 for all its action and stuff like that, Season 4 is definitely a close second. It introduced some fan-favorite characters, had some absolutely beautiful visuals, the soundtrack was absolutely mesmerizing, and it made for some killer home media releases, including this one. Thomas and the Special Letter and Other Stories was originally released on VHS by Anchor Bay on August 15th, 1995. It was re-released with this cover a few more times before it was redesigned in 2002. This cover would later be used on the DVD released on March 20th, 2007, which would be re-released by Lionsgate in 2009.
The main reason I'm reviewing this DVD specifically is because a few weeks back I put out a poll saying which of these releases people preferred. At the beginning it looked like Hooray for Thomas was going to win, but towards the end Thomas and the Special Letter beat it out by a few votes. So yeah, that's what I'm reviewing now. But I'm not complaining at all. It is a very good release with some very good episodes and a pretty nice song. And the cover of the release? It's interesting, to say the least.
Now don't get me wrong, this is a very nice cover by itself, but in the context of the release, this is very strange. This bluish gray cover is lovely to look at, and I love that they use an image from the title episode at the bottom, but that's not the weird part, no. The weird part is this huge image of Birdie in the center. I'm pretty sure that Birdie does not have a single line of dialogue for the entirety of Season 4 and is nothing more than a background character in like 5 episodes at most. Why make him the focal point of a Season 4 DVD? Not to mention the image they used of him is actually mirrored, so it looks wrong. Oh, don't believe me? Here's him on another DVD cover. In fact, it was this detail that made me realize that all of the Anchor Bay releases have the characters facing to the left, which I somehow never noticed before making this video. It's a very weird cover for sure, but I think this is still a really good release. Speaking of which, I think it's time we actually talk about the episodes on this release, so let's go ahead and do that. This is my review of Thomas and the Special Letter. We start off with the title episode, Thomas and the Special Letter, which, fun fact, was the 100th episode of the series. This is an episode that I've seen dozens of times, and it's great every single time. One of my favorite things about Thomas is its huge cast of characters, and it's on full display in this episode. Mavis, Boko, Bill and Ben, Duck, Donald and Douglas. What other episode features all of these characters in one place? The soundtrack is great, George Carlin has some great narration, and the crash is one of the most iconic in the entire series. On top of that, there are just so many shots in this episode that I absolutely love. Like this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. It's a great episode, and I love every second of it. Home at Last is another really good episode, and this time it's focused on the narrow gauge engines. This episode is the first to feature Duncan, who is probably one of the best narrow gauge characters in the series. He's troublesome and can be a little rude at times, but he's just kind of funny most of the time. I also just really like the voice that George Carlin gives him in all of these episodes.
I'm a plain, blunt engine. I speak as I find. Tunnels should be tunnels and not rabbit holes.
But honestly, aside from that, there's not too much I have to say about this episode, other than it's just very cozy and has some really nice shots. But honestly, that can be said for any of the narrow gauge episodes. Still pretty good. Rock and Roll is up next, and it's definitely a better episode than Home at Last. The first 40 seconds or so just have a montage of Skarloey just traveling, which oddly enough has Thomas's theme as the background music. But honestly, I love this montage. It perfectly showcases the beauty that is the Season 4 set design, and it's amazing. This is yet another episode with Duncan, where he keeps on rocking and rolling and getting himself into trouble, and Carlin still delivers an amazing performance as him.
I'm a plain engine, and I believe in plain speaking. Speak up!
This episode also features a somewhat common trope of steam engines hating on diesels, but I like the fact that despite Duncan being kind of an ass to people around him, he's able to apologize to Rusty at the end of the episode, and Rusty is actually cool with it. The character arcs in Thomas are just another reason I love the show so much. Overall, very nice, and just like Home at Last, another very cozy episode. Steamroller is another great episode that stars Sir Handel. Pretty cool. This episode also introduced George the Steamroller, who in my opinion is just a better version of Bulgy, and Carlin just gives him such a good voice.
Railways are no good. Turn them into roads. Pull them up. Turn them into roads.
I know I've mentioned him in like every single episode so far, but genuinely he is just so good. Honestly, one of my favorite narrators in the series. The race scene in this episode is also pretty iconic, and hey, there's a guy on the cover of this release. You can't even see his face. I also should mention, it's very nice seeing an episode with Sir Handel before he went into the Shadow Realm for 6 seasons and then came back randomly in Season 10. You know, maybe he should have stayed in the Shadow Realm, or at least waited until Blue Mountain Mystery came out. But yeah, this is a pretty good episode in my opinion. Don't really have much else to say. Well, we're done with the narrow gauge episodes now, and we continue with Toad Stands By. Despite the title, Toad himself doesn't actually do that much in this episode. He's definitely here, but that's about it. Can't say this is a bad episode, though. Not by any means. They brought back the singing trucks from Season 2, which is pretty cool to see. It's also cool seeing a truck getting completely ripped into pieces. Really does make you question the mortality of engines and rolling stock in this universe. It's great hearing this kind of adventurous theme that Mike and Junior gave Oliver in this episode, as it's one of my favorite themes in the entire series. This is an iconic episode for sure, and I'm glad it's on here. The last episode on the release is Bowled Out, featuring Stepney. Who doesn't love him? This is one of those episodes where Diesel comes to the island complaining about how much they dislike steam engines, with the Diesel in this episode being Class 40. Yeah, he's honestly kinda mid. His design isn't anything too noteworthy, and he barely has a personality. He's definitely not a character that I care about too much, and honestly, if they were to, for some reason, bring him back to this series, I wouldn't really care. I'd probably just react like, huh, that's cool. Anyways, Disney Infinity 4.0, let's go! But aside from him, this episode features probably one of my favorite sequences in the entire series, that being Duck and Stephanie traveling to Crovin's Gate. Everything about this sequence is just glorious. The beautiful visuals with all their Season 4 goodness, the absolutely banging music from Mike O'Donnell and Junior Campbell, it's all top tier for sure. Overall, as the last episode on this release, it's pretty good. But we of course have to end things on a song, and the song for this release is none other than Don't Judge a Book by Its Cover, which definitely relates to this DVD. This song is an absolute bop. An extremely catchy instrumental with a pretty good moral in the lyrics. It's of course based off of the episode Terrence the Tractor, which I already reviewed in another video, and they tell pretty much the same story. However, both the episode and the song are extremely good and some of my favorites. Don't Judge a Book by Its Cover is a really good song, and if you haven't listened to it in a while, definitely check it out. In fact, if you haven't watched this whole release in a while, definitely watch it again because it is really good.
So yeah, that was Thomas and the Special Letter. Overall, a very lovely release. A great variety of episodes from one of the best seasons of the series, and overall, it's just got a very cozy feeling, and I love watching it. But I want to know what your thoughts are on this release. Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, I would highly recommend liking and subscribing to the channel for more stuff like this. And with that out of the way, I'll see you guys around. Peace.